guys, in today's video I'm going to be reviewing La Mer for you all. This is a video that I've gotten many requests for. Is it worth it? Is this brand worth the price? So in today's video I'm going to cover La Mer, the ingredients, and my perspective as a dermatologist, share with you all if I think it's worth it. I also have purchased many of the products and will share them with you guys in today's video so you can actually see them for yourself. I think sometimes that's just fun, so hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're not familiar with La Mer, it is a super expensive skincare brand, skincare line owned by Estee Lauder. And the whole premise behind La Mer is that they have this proprietary miracle broth derived from the sea, and they claim that this key ingredient, this miracle broth, is kind of the answer to all of your skin woes. It's nourishing and it's just going to change your skin and you just need it. Is there any truth to that? Sounds bogus, right? Actually, it's not bogus. All La Mer products have some derivative of a seaweed. So marine algae, seaweed, they are abundant in numerous bioactive compounds. The most abundant compound is actually carbs, carbohydrates, and therefore seaweed is a great ingredient for cosmetics because it imparts a nice texture to things. It acts as a thickening agent, but these carbohydrates are also wonderful moisturizers. They impart nice hydration into the skin. They have very strong water binding abilities, and therefore they really bring a nice degree of hydration into the skin. They also contain other bioactive compounds that are desirable for skincare, things like antioxidants to combat free radical damage associated with skin aging. They contain anti-inflammatory compounds, humectants, peptides, all of these things that actually are compelling for inclusion in skincare products. But the cosmeceutical industry is driven by consumer demand. It's a booming industry. It's driven by consumer demand for novel ingredients. And by novel, I mean yesterday's cosmeceutical ingredient is no longer relevant. Something new today, right now, some new vehicle, some new delivery system has to happen on a daily basis in this industry. And not only that, by the way, it needs to be natural. So consumer demand for natural and novel ingredients is really what fuels the cosmeceutical industry. Oceans cover about 70% of the Earth's surface and are rich in biodiversity, which makes them an appealing target for cosmeceutical pillage for these new novel and au natural ingredients. Seaweed has many bioactive compounds. It is rich in carbohydrates, as I said, namely polysaccharides, that in laboratory studies, meaning cells on a dish, have been shown to be superior to hyaluronic acid in terms of water binding ability. So in other words, seaweed is a better humectant for inclusion in moisturizers than hyaluronic acid. And in clinical studies done on humans, moisturizers containing seaweed derivatives were shown to be superior in terms of the hydration imparted to the skin, as well as improving skin firmness. Seaweed extracts have also been examined for their anti-aging properties. Specifically in lab studies, seaweed has been shown to inhibit the upregulation of matrix metalloproteinases, which if you're not familiar with those, they are the enzymes that get upregulated when we are exposed to ultraviolet radiation from the sun, either when we go outside or the UVA that comes through the window. That UVA penetrates deep into our skin, activates matrix metalloproteinases that then chew up the collagen in the deeper layers of our skin and lead to wrinkles and evidence of photoaging. So there's some laboratory-based studies that suggest that seaweed bioactive compounds can inhibit that process. There's also some laboratory studies showing that seaweed will also inhibit the degradation of elastic fibers, so potentially being useful for holding on to elasticity in the skin and preserving that. Also, seaweed may possess compounds that could function as anti-cancer agents. Seaweed is rich in something called polyphenols, which help to scavenge free radicals. Free radicals are things that are generated in our skin and are oxidizing and damage the proteins in our skin and our DNA and lead to aging and set the stage for cancers. The polyphenol components of seaweed are promising from an anti-cancer perspective, but also seaweed can contain its own sunscreen ingredients. Yes, that's true. Algae found in intertidal shores to a depth of 150 meters are highly exposed to UV and therefore have adapted their own sunscreen. So seaweed's pretty smart, and it wears its own SPF. And there are many polyphenol compounds that have been isolated and examined and are an area of active research for sunscreen development. So that is one potential benefit of inclusion of seaweed. So seaweed is the unifying beneficial ingredient in all of La Mer products, some sort of seaweed derivative, and something that really can bring a lot of hydration to the skin and skin benefit. However, the issue with all of the La Mer products that I'll say before I get into each of the individual products is that they all contain fragrance. And I always get questions from you guys, why do you harp on fragrance? Like, why should we avoid it? I don't have any problem with fragrance. I like things that have a nice scent, etc. So fragrance is added to products for consumer appeal. However, it has no benefit to your skin. And fragrance compounds are sensitizers, meaning you can develop a sensitivity to the fragrance itself and become allergic to it. So even if you're not allergic to it today, with continued use, you can become sensitized to it and then subsequently allergic to it. But also, fragrance is a co-sensitizer, meaning the presence of fragrance in your products makes it more likely that you will develop a sensitivity to other ingredients in products that you're coming in contact with. Once you develop a sensitivity to those, it can really make your life a living nightmare trying to find products that don't contain things that you are allergic to. So that is a major issue with fragrance. It is a very common cause of allergic contact dermatitis. The other issue with fragrance is that fragrance compounds cause vasodilation in the skin, leading to redness and bringing in the immune system as a downstream effect of that, which can lead to irritation in the skin, exacerbate dryness, lead to acne flares, and if you have rosacea, it can precipitate a flush of rosacea. And also, fragrance compounds are not incredibly stable. They oxidize and therefore damage other ingredients in your products. And when you, therefore making skincare more irritating. And when you go out in the sun and fragrance is exposed to ultraviolet radiation, it further can degrade and become highly irritating. So it's something to make every effort to avoid your skincare products and not to fall for, because brands like La Mer, they put fragrance in things to suck you in to the nice scent, but they really are they're ingredients that do nothing for you other than lead to potential problems. And even if you don't think you have a problem with fragrance today, you've been using fragrance products, you don't see any issue with it, the issues can be lurking under the skin and you may not even be aware of it, and they will manifest later on in life with worsening of rashes or worsening of aging. So I tell you guys, make every effort to avoid it. And when there's a really expensive skincare product and I see fragrance included as an ingredient, it's like, no, not worth it. The very first product is their cleansing foam, and I always struggle to say anything remarkable about cleansers, and in this case with their cleansing foam, there was nothing about it that stood out to me as worth it. It's just a basic cleanser. It does a good job taking off water-resistant sunscreen and mascara. It didn't burn or sting around the eyes. The scent is not horrible. I have tried other cleansers with fragrance, and sometimes they are really foul. This was actually pretty nice. So it's not a bad fragrance, it smells nice. And this also has caffeine in it, which I'll talk a little bit more about in other products, but caffeine is an antioxidant. However, this product, you'll notice all the La Mer products say free of parabens, but this product has methylchloroisothiazinolone in it, which is a preservative that companies put in products to replace parabens as a result of consumer demand for paraben-free products. However, parabens are not bad. I have a whole video talking about why parabens are not bad. And in fact, they were named the contact non-allergen of the year, meaning they are actually the safest preservative in your skincare products. but they've been replaced by methylchloroisothiazinolone, and as a result, we've seen a boom in the incidence of allergy and problems to methylchloroisothiazinolone. So it's got that in it. If you are already sensitized to that and allergic to it, you can't use any of the La Mer products. And the fact that this has fragrance in it, you're increasing your risk of developing an issue with it. So there's that. This is a $95 face wash, you guys. A lot of that is going to end up down the drain. I definitely don't think this is worth it, but I didn't have a bad experience using it whatsoever. The second product that I tried is the Renewal Oil. This is touted as a dual phase oil fluid. It's got some actually good plant-derived oils in it. It has jojoba oil in it, it has sunflower seed oil in it, and then it has laminaria, which is the seaweed component. And I've got videos talking about oils and skincare, and a lot of plant-derived oils are actually beneficial for the skin and are nourishing. They act as emollients to soften skin cell edges. But an issue with using plant-derived oils is that they can be unstable and susceptible to oxidation. And when they become oxidized and degrade, they can be very irritating. Sunflower and jojoba oils, those are actually pretty good and resistant to a lot of oxidative degradation. This also has olive oil in it as well. Olive oil is another plant-derived oil that people have always been interested in using on their skin, but there was actually a study that showed that olive oil is not actually a great ingredient to include in moisturizers, because when included as an ingredient in moisturizers, it actually can worsen something called transepidermal water loss. In other words, it can actually make your skin drier if you leave it on your skin. So not the best ingredient, but there's that. And then this product, like the face wash, has caffeine in it. Caffeine, as I said, is an antioxidant. So, that's kind of helping the cause with the oils in this. But caffeine also is a vasoconstrictor, meaning it can improve redness. It also has been shown and is thought to decrease storage of fat in the skin. That hasn't been confirmed, but you'll find it in a lot of cellulite creams. So, I guess a risk with using caffeine on your face long term is that you could lose some facial volume through fat loss, which happens naturally as part of aging. But, that's just theoretical. We don't have any data to substantiate that. The main issue with this, I said early on with fragrance, but really what you're buying here is perfume. This is a perfume oil whose instructions tell you to lather it on your face rather than atomize it on your décolleté or roll it onto your wrist. So it is at its heart nothing more than perfume within a moisturizing oil base, but it retails for $245. I don't know, perfume can be very expensive. So that being said, this does smell nice. So at its heart, what it is a perfume. I wouldn't slather it on my face on a regular basis. It's a $245 perfume. Don't be fooled into thinking that this is a skincare product. It is a perfume, nothing more. The third product is the Lifting and Firming Mask. Now this has a really long list of ingredients. I'm not going to cover every single one, but it's got a lot of really good ingredients in it. It has licorice root, which is anti-inflammatory, has been shown to be helpful for redness, so you'll find it in a lot of products labeled anti-redness. And it can also inhibit some of how pigment is transferred around and impart a brightening effect. This has bifida ferment lysate in it, which is a fermented lysate that contains many humectants and antioxidant compounds. This also has a lot of, it has Saccharomyces, a yeast extract with similar beneficial compounds, and hydrolyzed wheat protein. These three things have been shown to be nourishing to the skin, have antioxidant properties, and be anti-inflammatory. In addition to those, it's got the antioxidant grapeseed oil in it. And then as far as the marine component, it's got the chlorella in it. And this also has soybean extract in it as well. So soybean has compounds in it that inhibit how pigment is transferred around. So the soybean in combination with the licorice makes this a product that will impart some brightening to the face. And then it also has acetylhexapeptide 8, which is argirelan. I have a video talking about argirelan. Argireline is a peptide that is of interest because it is thought to potentially act as a mimic to the way Botox works, but without having to obviously go through injections of neurotoxin into your skin. However, as I said in my peptides video reviewing Argireline, studies show that Argireline really does not get into the skin very well. That being said, Argireline is a peptide, and peptides do have wonderful humectant properties to them, so they're not something to necessarily dismiss in moisturizers and products, but they can be very costly. So maybe that's why this costs 250 bucks. It's pretty expensive. This product smells a little bit like baby wipes, I'll be honest with you guys. But personally, I'm a little nervous to tell you guys this because I don't want you to go out and buy it for reasons that I've explained. I actually enjoyed using this a lot. And after I put it on, I felt like my skin got colder. The temperature of my skin dropped. It had a cooling effect. So this is probably one of my favorites that I tried. I had a lot of fun trying these out, I'll be honest with you guys. Even though they have fragrance and they're incredibly expensive, it was fun for me to try these out. And this one was a favorite of mine. And I did see a transient brightening effect and increased luminosity with this, but it was not long lasting. The instructions stipulate to put this on, maybe use it a few nights a week. And they say you can put it on after cleansing. Don't wash it off, it says, although with the fragrance in there, you know, you're running the risk of the fragrance sensitivity, developing sensitization. So it says not to wash it off, and then it encourages you, of course, to follow it up with another La Mer product on top, because why stop at $250 for a firming mask? But anyways, I did enjoy that, and there's that. The eye concentrate goes for 225 bucks. Now on the thin skin of the eyelids, using fragrance is even more risky because the skin on the eyelids is around the eyes is very, very thin. So the distance between the fragrance and your immune system is much, much, much shorter. It's more likely you will begin to develop issues if you use fragrance around your eyes. So it's a bad idea to use fragrance and leave-on products, but really a bad idea to use it in eye creams. The skin there is so thin, you're like begging your immune system to retaliate. So don't recommend that, but personally I didn't have any issue with it the few times that I used it, and I did find that it actually made the skin around my eyes appear a little brighter, albeit transiently, and the skin feel smooth and hydrated. But no more impressively than just using a basic moisturizer. Alright, the next up is the Moisturizing Soft Cream. This has micrococcus lysate in it, which is a fermented lysate that these fermented lysates and fermented extracts are common in a lot of Korean skincare products. A lot of products that cosmeceuticals are using them. They are rich in humectants and antioxidants, so they're beneficial ingredients and they're well tolerated and they're good ingredients. This also has shea butter in it and petrolatum. So those are wonderful moisturizing ingredients in terms of sealing in transepidermal water loss and improving hydration in skin. You know, you can have all the humectants in the world holding on to water, but if you don't trap that on there with an appropriate occlusive ingredient in the moisturizer, you'll just end up losing all that water the seaweed's holding on to anyway. So the Moisturizing Soft Cream is nice. It's got shea butter in it. I have a video talking about the benefits of shea butter, so I won't go into that here. But this also, in addition to the micrococcus lysate, the kind of marine derivatives are plankton and chlorella. This also has lactoperoxidase in it. I think a few other products have that in it as well. That's actually in your saliva. So somebody spit in the soft cream, but it's antibacterial. So you'll frequently see it basically as a preservative in products. And then lastly, this has urea in it. Urea is a great ingredient in moisturizers. It has a skin softening property. It is a wonderful humectant, a wonderful moisturizing ingredient. I have a video talking about why I love urea. So the Moisturizing Soft Cream, I mean, darn, if they didn't put fragrance in this, this has a lot of potential, and it felt good. It feels good going on. After the Moisturizing Soft Cream is the Treatment Lotion. This is described as liquid energy. This is kind of similar though as far as ingredients to many of their other products, just in a more liquid vehicle that they want you to pat onto the skin, kind of like almost like a Korean toner or essence. pat it onto the skin with like a pad, and then of course follow it up with more La Mer products, because why stop at just one? This has licorice root in it, like other products, for anti-redness and for hyperpigmentation. It's also got soybean, and it's got caffeine in it for that vasoconstrictive effect. And it also has argireline in it. As far as the ingredients, you know, the treatment lotion, it's not really anything different than any of the other products. It's just more, the vehicle is more of a liquid, and they kind of push it on you as delivering the ingredients in a more effective way, more concentrated somehow. But honestly, I don't think that that's ever been shown to be the truth or false, so I can't say for sure if plunking down an extra $155 for more caffeine pumped into the skin is worth it. So there's that. Didn't have a bad experience with using it. It kind of gives the skin a glowy luminosity to it upon using it. Next up is the Perfecting Treatment. This is touted as having a pore blurring effect. And it does so by the inclusion of acrylodimethyl taurate, or VP copolymer. I talked a little bit about this in my video on tips to diminish the appearance of pores and pore minimizing. And really the way these work is just by scattering light and kind of creating the optical illusion of light scattering and detracting from the appearance of prominent pores. So that's how that works. This also has licorice root extract in it, and then it's got, in addition to licorice root, which I said is helpful for redness and pigmentation, this also has barley extract, yeast ferment extract, mulberry, and hydrolyzed rice bran extract. All of these things are cosmeceutical ingredients that have been shown to be helpful for hyperpigmentation. So I think this is a product that people who have oily skin, prominent pores, and maybe some hyperpigmentation, these ingredients are targeting those concerns. However, that being said, this has red dye in it. Red dyes have been associated with flares of acne and being pore clogging, particularly like in blush, for example. People will sometimes have breakouts on their cheeks related to blush. This product does have red dye in it. That could potentially be an issue for people. One thing you may point out in a lot of these products is the inclusion of alcohol denaturant. You might say, isn't that drying? Isn't that bad for his skin? It's not a bad ingredient. It can be drying and it can be irritating depending on if you have rosacea, for example. People with rosacea tend to have issue with that, but if you have rosacea, just stay away from La Mer. La Mer is not for you if you have rosacea. You definitely don't even waste a second. But the alcohol denaturant is important and essential actually in the extraction of the seaweed. In fact, getting the actual compounds that have been shown to be sunscreen-like, in order to extract those and to get those beneficial ingredients out of the seaweed and to have them be available, does require an alcohol extraction step. So that is probably why you will see that in a lot of the products. Number 8 is the La Mer Moisturizing Cream. It's kind of their signature product, $335 for 2 ounces. I was underwhelmed by this. Obviously I have issue with the fragrance. This has methylchloroisothiazidone in it, like most of their products do. It also has lanolin in it, which is a fatty alcohol, fatty wax derived from sheep's fleece that a lot of people can actually become sensitized to as well. Outside of those problematic ingredients, this could be a decent basic moisturizer, but it's not unique from anything that you might find in the drugstore. It's got the La Mer seaweed in there, okay, but it also has mineral oil and paraffin in it. Great ingredients and moisturizers, but not unique. And panthenol, a skin conditioning agent, not unique. You can find that in tons of products in the drugstore. La Roche-Posay Cicaplast, tons of products have panthenol in them. So there's nothing really super unique about the moisturizing cream. The difference between the moisturizing cream and the soft cream is really more consistency. The moisturizing cream is a lot thicker and richer than the soft cream. Alright, and then lastly, it should come as no surprise to you, I wanted to dabble in some of their sun protective products, but as I said at the beginning of this video, definitely want to avoid fragrance in sun protection, but I figured I have to try something. So I tried out their Reparative Skin Tint Broad Spectrum SPF 30 in the color Light. And the reason I tried this out is it's a tinted sunscreen product, that has iron oxides in it. So iron oxides are an ingredient in sun protected products that actually can protect you against pro-pigmenting wavelengths of visible light, namely blue light. I have a video talking all about this, why it's important, who should be more concerned about it over others, but iron oxides are one ingredient in sunscreens that can protect against that. So this has that in it, great. As far as the sunscreen active ingredients though, it has titanium dioxide, which is a mineral ingredient, and it has two chemical filters, octinoxate and octisalate. Octinoxate and octisalate are chemical filters that will block against UVB. And titanium dioxide is a mineral ingredient that will block against UVB and some UVA. So this product is something that can call itself broad spectrum because it covers UVB and UVA. But the devil's in the details. Titanium dioxide does not cover UVA as well as zinc oxide does. So using a sunscreen that only has titanium dioxide as your UVA blocking ingredient is not as good as it could be. And so the reason that's important is UVA, that is the component of sunlight that penetrates very deeply into your skin and damages collagen and leads to aging. And it is the wavelength of light that come through the window. So those of you who are like, I never go outside, well, you know, it still comes in through the window. It comes through clouds as well. So this doesn't protect against those aging rays as well as tinted products that contain zinc oxide in them. So like I said, I had fun trying these things out for you guys. I hope this video is helpful as far as talking about marine extracts in skincare, reviewing the touted La Mer, showing you guys some of the products. I'll list my references down below for those of you who are interested in learning more. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.